Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Credit Costs with Coach Dime, where we do credit repair the right way. In today's video, we're going to go over the 3 steps that you need to take in order for you to remove any negative item off of your credit report. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking notes. If you have any questions, drop them below this video. And of course, I will respond to your questions. So this is what I love to tell all of my students, all of my mentees. It's very important for you to understand the foundation in order for you to be successful at anything, but especially when it comes to credit. Every single technique that I have works so well because all of my stuff is surrounded based on the principles within the law that governs credit reporting, which, if you're not aware about what that law actually is, it is called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, also referred to as the FCRA. All right, so like I said, in this video, we're going to get into the 3 steps that you need to take in order for you to go ahead and clear up your credit. So let's go ahead and get started. Step number 1, of course, you need to pull your credit reports. Now, a lot of people use different sources, and I will tell you different sources, you probably shouldn't do that. You should probably just use, and I'm going to pull it up right here if I can type. I mean, you know, here we go. So this is where you need to go. Annualcreditreport.com. As you can see, simple Google search will pull you right up to it. Now, for one, I want you all to understand that it's free. So you don't have to go out and start paying for subscriptions to get your credit reports, and you can pull them weekly. That's another amazing part. You can pull them weekly. So you don't have to wait until a month or wait until next year. You can pull them every single week to be current on whatever it is that's going on with your credit reports. Annualcreditreport.com is the number one, as you can see, the only source for your free credit reports. But they're the number one source, number one trusted source for credit reporting. So, for example, a lot of people like to dispute based on the identity IQs, smart credit, so on and so forth. Well, for one, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian cannot answer for what they have, these softwares have reporting on those credit reports. Why? Because it's not their software. With Annual Credit Report, it is their software. They're partnered with the agency. So you definitely want to make sure that you guys are using Annual Credit Report. Again, it's free, no need to. So we're going to pull out credit reports, and what you'll do is you're just going to go through, request your credit reports. It's going to ask you for all of your personal identifying information. Fill this all out. This is how they're going to verify your identity, right? So you fill it out, and then you'll do it for every single credit report that you want. Pull all 3 of them. All right. You'll make sure that you're doing your disputes based on the most updated dispute. Now, before we get into the second step, which is obviously going to be related to you having a clear report, your report, I want to make sure that we go over definitions, because when it comes to me, I love to ensure that I understand what I'm reading. And for a lot of people, the law is so confusing because there are words and terminology that's listed here that's just not, it doesn't make sense until you read a definition section. So we're going to go over some things that are very, very commonly used. And also, it's going to, the way that they use certain words in the law does not the same thing that we would normally use things as. Like, for example, person, right? Means any individual, partnership, corporation, trust, estate, cooperative, association, government or governmental agencies, governmental subdivision or agency or other entity. So as you can see, person in the law doesn't mean like you and I, right? It doesn't mean an individual like you and I, okay, like a human. What actually refers to, when they're saying person, they're referring to a company. So we have Capital One, we have American Express, we have Wells Fargo, so on and so forth, right? Those are persons when they're talking about this in the law. Consumer, however, means individual. So normally when you'll see consumer going throughout the law, and you guys are going to actually see that when we're getting to exactly what your next step should be, they refer to us, you and I, as consumers. Okay. And let's go ahead and go through I just want to, it's a lot of definitions, so you definitely want to go behind me and look. So I'm just going to go over the ones that are very frequently that we're going to be actually seeing while we're going through your next steps to clear your credit report. Because one thing I don't want you guys to do is have to deal with bad credit in 2026. Absolutely not. So I'm trying to find this one last definition, and then we will go ahead and move on. I don't understand why I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Okay, overlooking it. Of course I was. So, F. The term consumer reporting agency means any person. Remember, person means normally is referring to corporation. Now, I understand that in the definition also said individual, but for these purposes, an individual is, or you and I are considered to be consumers, like I said. All right, means any person for which monetary fees, dues, or on a cooperative nonprofit basis regularly engages in whole or in part in the practice of assembling or evaluating consumer credit information or other information on consumers for the purpose of furnishing consumer reports to third parties, and which uses any means or facility of interstate commerce for the purpose of preparing or furnishing consumer reports. So this probably has your wheels turning. Who are consumer reporting agencies? Now, you're not going to see credit bureaus here. You're not going to see the credit bureau. No. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, LexisNexis, Clarity, so on and so forth. Those are considered to be consumer reporting agencies. They are not credit bureaus, so I want you to get that out of your mind right here and right now. I don't know why people call them credit bureaus. I don't know where that name came from or stemmed from, but they are not credit bureaus. They are just consumer reporting agencies or credit reporting agencies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into your next steps. Oh, wrong one. Credit reporting. Here we go. Credit reporting agencies. Then we're going to go back to, so this is 15 USC 1681. We're going to go into 1681I. That governs the procedures that needs to happen if you have an issue with your credit report, and obviously you do. So we pull our credit reports from annualcreditreport.com. Now let's get into exactly what needs to happen after you have done that. Subject to subsection F, and except as provided in subsection G, if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in a consumer's file at a consumer reporting agency is disputed by the consumer. So let's break this down for a second. You have your credit reports from annualcreditreport.com. Now you have to look for anything that is incomplete, anything that is inaccurate, based on what the law says right here, right? The completeness or accuracy. The opposite of those words is incomplete, inaccurate. So you have to go ahead and look at, listen, do not bother your positive accounts. What you're going to find is that a lot of your positive accounts are very inaccurate. They're very incomplete. Leave them alone. The reason being is that if you start disputing your positive accounts, they could fall off. They can take them off for your credit report, and then what? Now you then lost all that positive history. Your credit score then plummet, all because you was bothering that didn't need to be bothered. So just leave it alone. All right. Again, all negative accounts, you want to look for anything that's not accurately reflecting the history of the account, anything that's not showing to be complete. All right, those two things. And then is disputed by the consumer. So you and I, we have to dispute those. And the consumer notifies the agency directly. This means you shouldn't be sending your credit dispute letters to ABC Company. So if you're pulling your credit reports, like I just said, and you're looking for the inaccurate data, the incomplete data, you're not going to send your letters about what you have just found to the companies that are reporting the information to the agencies. You're going to instead send your dispute letter to the agency directly. Okay? Do not waste your time, energy, effort, and money to send letters to the companies because they have no legal obligations to respond to you. It just is what it is. All right. So you notify agency directly or indirectly through a reseller. A reseller is someone who just resells information. So again, not the companies. Okay. Of such dispute. Now this is saying exactly what happens after you have notified them that there's an issue. The agency shall, when they're saying shall, I know you guys didn't see it in the definitions, and you're not going to see it, but shall means required. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Free of charge, conduct a reasonable reinvestigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information or delete the item from the file in accordance with paragraph 5 before the end of the 30-day period beginning on the date on which the agency receives the notice of dispute. So if you're wondering what's the title of your letter, your dispute letter, notice of dispute. The law tells you exactly what you need to do. This is why I absolutely love reading the law, because it tells you everything that you need to know. And this is why what I teach works so well, because everything that I says is based on what the law says. Okay? Everything that I teach, all my strategies, my techniques, my methods, all of that is grounded and rooted in this. Okay? From the consumer or reseller. So they actually have, before, they don't even have an entire 30 days, but we give them that grace period. So before the 30-day period, beginning on the date on which they receive your letter. So that's when your dispute starts. Your dispute time frame starts when they receive the letter. So what I always suggest for you to do is send your letter certified mail so that you're able to track when they receive it. Then you're able to keep up on how much time they have left to respond to you, if they ever respond, when they receive it, like, to have those records, keep them concrete. Just go ahead and send a certified mail so you can have that record in case you need to use it against them later on down the line. Okay, so this is your responsibility. So step 1, pull your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. Step 2, you're going to analyze it and you're going to send your letters, your dispute letter that you have created, to the agency directly. And your dispute letter is going to include the things that you found that was incomplete and that was inaccurate. And the agency now has to respond, or they have to do their investigation, right? Now, so step 1, in your credit report. Step 2, analyze that credit report for the incomplete and inaccurate data. Step 3, send your dispute letter, okay? Now, what you want to make sure that you are doing with your disputes, this is going to be the lesson that I want to go over on this video because it's very, very important. You want to avoid being marked as frivolous in your dispute. So this is how you're going to do that. Let's first read what it says in the law. Notwithstanding paragraph 1, a consumer reporting agency may terminate a reinvestigation of information disputed by a consumer. Under that paragraph, if the agency reasonably determines that the dispute by the consumer is frivolous or irrelevant, including by reason of a failure by a consumer to provide sufficient information to investigate the disputed information. So what this is saying is that the agency can actually not do your investigation and not investigate the items if you have not provided them enough information to investigate. So you're the one who has the issue. You're the one who wants things to be done and removed and fixed and all of that. You have to provide enough information. So send the proof, send the details, explain exactly what is incorrect and what is incomplete in your dispute letter. Following these steps is going to actually help you remove anything from your credit report. Thank you guys so much for joining Credit Talks with Coach Dime, where we do credit repair the right way. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and catch you guys in the next video.